And welcome into another episode of From the Tips. Golf, gamble, grog. We got a pro golfer in our midst, and he's getting ready to hit a big trip, golf trip with a buddy's trip. There's nothing better than a golf buddy's trip, is there?
No, and this is my first time away since my daughter was born, over 3 years ago. So I need it. I'm excited about it, and every day seems so damn slow this week.
I see the Pro Callaway bag in the background there. Is that what you're
Yeah, man, we're packed up. We're ready to roll. It's going to be fun.
So out of this group of guys that you're playing golf with next week, are you the A player?
Yep. So it's and the cool part about this is I'll be the best player, but then we have guys that are got 30 some handicaps. So it's like we're all over the place. It's more of just a bunch of guys going to have a good time, and it'll be fun.
Wow.
But yeah, well, we're hopping in the RV 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, and we're taking off.
Man, that is cool. And how many total?
12. There's 12 of us. So we got three foursomes. It'll be
that makes me want to. Once again, we're gonna have to get a Hammercast Network trip put together. Later in the year. Of course, I'm busier than I've ever been. Putting on this new
that's exciting though,
food
man.
Truck fleet, man. Yeah. We're about ready to launch the first truck, and then we've got 4 more coming.
Where are you launching them
at? Right there in the middle of O'Fallon, Illinois, right close to St. Louis. We're building a ghost kitchen. And this kitchen is going to have 5 concepts, and we're creating all 5 concepts. We're going to have 5 food trucks for each concept, plus we're going to do delivery, curbside, and catering. No dining in. That's old school, man. Everybody wants to get it and go. No, so anyway, that's awesome. That's all pretty cool, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's talk some golf, man. I'm pretty excited about this tournament, man. I'm looking forward to tomorrow a lot.
Yeah, tomorrow's the crazy. Tomorrow's when the fun begins. I mean, not that today wasn't fun. I was surprised, when we met on Tuesday, I thought we would have some groups flirting with the 59 number. Course wasn't that easy out there today. But again, these guys chewed it up. I mean, you give 2 pros 2 cracks at. I mean, they're going to go low. And of course, your boy sits at top right now. Just.
Thank goodness for Ventura, right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's what makes me excited about that team is because Hovland didn't have his best stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hovland was okay.
No doubt. But when we walked into the week on Tuesday, we were saying, well, shit, Chris Ventura is the guy that's going to, if anything, deter us from betting or rolling with that group. But, hey, man, like you said, I think that they could be good in the alternate shot tomorrow because both guys, although Victor Hovland was a little scratchy with the driver today, both guys can keep the ball in play. They're going to give themselves looks. It'll be interesting to see the groups like Finau and Cameron Champs who just smashers of the golf ball. When you're playing alternate shot, it's a whole different animal. And there's some places that you leave your partner you're playing from where sometimes having 2 guys that smash the ball concept isn't always the best because of, you want to kind of keep it in front of you.
Yeah, Ryan puts a post up there, Billy Ho and Burns winning this. I'll bet you, Ryan, you already owe me a Mountain Dew, I think. But I'll bet you a cold Busch Light that Billy Ho and Burns don't win this. Boy.
Yeah,
Billy Ho's going to blow up.
I hope. Everybody wants to see it. Billy Horschel said after the round, Sam Burns basically shot 63 on his own today.
He did.
I mean, my favorite group, and they had a good day. They're still on the golf course right now, is Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith. I think that's a pretty damn good duo. And they're, again, 8 under with 2 to play. So with 1 to play, rather.
It's my boy Cam.
I know.
I was cussing Cam last week.
And Mark Leishman's Mr. Rock Solid. He's steady. We kind of know he's going to hit that little slap cut up there. We're going to be able to find it and play from there. So tomorrow's when the strategy steps in. Because, who do you want playing the par 3s if you can, when you're going odds and evens. So tomorrow is when today you just go out and make birdies. There's really no strategy. unless your guy absolutely hits it the shit, then you might want to hone down to an iron or something off the tee to make sure you don't make your par. But yeah, tomorrow will be a lot of fun.
Can you explain how the scoring went today? How the 4-ball went? Can you talk about that?
Yep. So basically, the team, so the two of them, they play their own ball, the whole hole, and at the end of the hole, whoever had the best score, that's the one they take. And so that's why you saw scores that, and I thought they might even be lower than they have in the past, because again, out of these PGA players, there's lots of birdies that are be flying out there, and if you got two guys, then. But that's why tomorrow is a whole different ball game, because and the thing every time I've ever played alternate shot that I found the most difficult, it's hard to get into a rhythm. And also one of the interesting things, since they're not playing a modified alternate shots, whereas you both tee off, you pick the best ball from there and then play alternate shot. This comes into like the golf ball the guy uses. Because different guys use different golf balls, and I can tell you and promise you that golf balls do different things. And when you're used to playing and practicing with a golf ball, that's why Tiger and Phil could never make it work, because they were using two completely different golf balls, and it's a different ball game. I'm sure that's probably overthinking it a little bit, but it's definitely goes into like some of the strategy. Like, are we playing your Pro V or are we playing my Chrome Soft here? Like, where are we at? So that'll be. But
that's a strategy. You say that. That's a very compelling thought there, because I never thought of something like that. You're right, but I still believe that what is the would you say 60, maybe 70% is still Titleist to Pro V1 and Pro V1X? Yeah,
there's 4 golf balls that are on tour, and that's basically it. You got the Bridgestone B330, the Tour B330, depending on which way you go. You got Callaway Chrome Soft, you got the Pro V1, you got the TaylorMade TP5, and those are your $60 dozen golf balls. Those are because
are you sure there's not at least one Callaway Warbird in there?
Yeah, right. A Top Flight XL 2000.
Should I say rock?
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the funny thing. Titleist definitely owns the golf ball world, but some companies have come out and made it somewhat competitive. And I mean, I played Callaway. I was sponsored by Callaway. So I played Callaway golf balls, but the minute I stopped being sponsored by Callaway, I went right back to the Pro V1. In my opinion, it's just that much better of a golf ball. But yeah, so when it comes down to that, that's Titleist definitely dominates still to this day, and it's not relatively close.
I'm not necessarily a miser, but I like to save a little cash, and I'll literally go and buy the Pro V1. Not retreads, but the what do they call them? The refurbished ones.
Yeah.
I'll go and buy those for a fourth, less than half the price. And you know what? I love them, and they play great.
Oh yeah. So we used to, before I was a pro and whatnot at the club where I got a bunch of free shit. We knew this dude. He would just dive into like the ponds, like the most prestigious courses around, and he'd sell me dozens of Pro Vs for $10 a rip. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to this guy, because I mean, to Ryan's point, it's like, they are expensive to lose,
right?
And especially if you're a 18 handicap, you're not spending $60 to. Every time you lose a golf ball, you're like, there goes $350.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Here's what's cool is 2 years ago, we had one of our barbecue restaurants at the Carlisle Country Club, which is 5 minutes from here. And I ran the restaurant. It was my restaurant. And I really got to understand how the golf course business works. And I was real tight with all the guys that ran the club. And there's companies out there. There's guys that go out there and they actually scuba dive.
Yep.
And and some of them have these machines that just dredge them, and then they sell them back to the course in these big huge mesh duffel bags.
Yeah.
And they're all clean. And then those guys would sit there in the clubhouse literally with these big and just go through them, and then they would say, okay, premium, average, premium, average, and then they would sell them for $20 for a dozen Pro V1 Chrome Softs, all those, and it was amazing. I had all the golf balls I wanted because I helped separate them, and so they said just keep what you do, and it was amazing. And so, but it's unbelievable how many golf balls actually accumulate in these little ponds. No, in fairness, a third of them were mine.
Right.
I already paid for.
I want to be the guy that drags 17 at Sawgrass. we'll be going through that collection for a year, looking at what different balls are in there.
Yeah, the actual the depth is like much shorter than it was a couple of years ago because the golf balls they're filling up the.
Yeah, hell of a business there. But yeah,
it's funny if you have a little
out to the
golf balls right next to it. So
right, these people would come out to the club. They cut us a check to let us basically let them go into a pond. And usually they would do it like super, super early or super, super late. That way your members are saying, what the hell is this, this alligator, the hunting looking dude doing walking around in a pond right now? So, but yeah, that's funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that stuff. Okay. So let's talk about a few more of these guys we picked, man. What do you, I mean, where's Guru? We didn't get Guru on here.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
We should get Guru on here. You know what? He faded Shoffley and Cantley.
Yeah. I mean, they got off to a slow start too. They weren't relatively crisp out of the gates.
Yeah, but 8 under is not bad.
Nope. They're right there. You know, and I guess now that I'm looking there, they got it to 6 under. Is Rahm and Brian Palmer were very slow out of the gates. I think they were like even through the first 4 holes, which is a no. But they've got it to 6 under. I mean, again, we talked about it on Tuesday. I think it's hard to argue that Cantley and Shoffley aren't on paper the 2, most world-class players in this event as far as a team is concerned. So it's hard to fade them. But again, as you notice when you're looking at this scoreboard, really nobody's out of the tournament. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, maybe the guys at the team at 1 under, but like, come to alternate shots. Tomorrow's where everything will change. Tomorrow there'll be separation on the leaderboard because alternate shots is going to shoot some of these teams right out of it. Of course, there's going to be a cut at 33 when we head into the weekend, but again, tomorrow is when fun things happen. You're going to see the strategy. These guys have already been thinking about it. I heard some shit. I was on Twitter or whatever, and I saw a video of Scotty Scheffler talking about how him and Bubba like ended up on a team. And Scotty Scheffler was like, well, Bubba asked like 8 or 9 guys and they all told him no. So he finally asked me. Bubba is not the most loved player out there. But,
he's one of the worst.
Yeah.
You know what? He's building it back though.
He is.
There was a time a few years ago where he and a couple other guys were named the least liked guys on tour by a private poll or some sort.
I remember a poll like, whose ass would you kick in the parking lot or something? And I think at the time Bubba won. I'm guessing at this point, if Patrick Reed would probably be at the lead in the clubhouse with most of these guys, but I thought that was funny. But they played okay. But again, they were kind of everywhere. Bubba almost made albatross after having to hit a high cut in between 2 trees, and it's not like they were making it super easy on themselves and going in alternate shot.
Well, you called it. They're going to be hitting out of some trees, but I'll tell you, there's one team I want to talk about. They're tied for 7th, and remember I said in my model he came out number 1, and then we were all laughing, but we can't do it because of Nick Watney. Charlie Hoffman and Nick Watney. They're 8 under.
Yeah.
And Watney, who we ridiculed, had an eagle on 2. He birdied 4. He birdied 10. He birdied 11. He had 1 bogey on 17 and from a very clean round. And so I'm pretty impressed that he shot 4 under on his own ball.
Sometimes this kind of format, I think it lends itself better to a guy maybe trying to get it back a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like you're more like out. You got a teammate. You're shooting the shit. Like it's a team concept, and it's more like when you're out there, like every week, just like grinding your ass off, and you continuously are missing cuts. Like that's probably a pretty low point, pretty lonely. So this is the perfect week for somebody to try to get some of that confidence back going.
Yeah, and you know what? And I just can't help but feel that when you're playing with somebody else, you almost feel like you've got to concentrate a little better. You got to be there for your teammate. You could screw yourself over and say, screw it, I screwed myself over. I'm going home anyway. But when you're playing for a teammate, it seems like you might dig a little deeper. I mean, is that the mentality you can feel? I feel that's for me anyway.
Oh yeah, because if you've played team golf all the time, it's always like, dude, stop. Don't say you're bad. Like, it's fine. Like, because everybody, you just don't want to let the guy next to you down. And it's, there's something more competitive about being on a team. Like, when I go next week, for all 4 rounds, we do a draft. Like, we draft a new team every time. And it's like, that's your guy you're going into battle with. Like, there's absolutely, you don't want to let them down. But like, at the same time, it's like, the worst are the people that are like, I'm sorry. And it's like, no, it's fine. Let's just roll. It's fine. Let's move on. But it's easy to not want to let, you get kind of juices flowing because you don't want to let the next guy down. When you're out there on tour, it's just you and your caddy. And when shit's terrible, it's really a dark place. Because the PGA Tour, for the most part, isn't glorious and jets and privacy, Tiger's private yacht. Like, it's more, as we saw Hideki, who's made tons of money flying coach back to Japan or whatnot. So it's like, when you go through these tough times, maybe having a partner is beneficial to you.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. I agree wholeheartedly. But anyway, I just wanted to give Charlie and Nick a little love because you know what? And there's another team I'm going to give a little love, and I'm going to give you a little love, and that's Shank and Duncan. 8 under. And Shank was one of your value plays, wasn't he?
Yeah. Listen, man. Again, terrible golf name. Decent player. I just think, again, in that range, if it kind of this week at DK forced you to pick teams down there. You had like the thing is if you wanted any of the top end teams, a Horschel and Burns or a Champion Fee or whatever you wanted, you were spending $11,000. So like it immediately forces you down into a category where you have to find some of these guys. Now, I'm surprised they actually shot that well in the best ball format or the four ball.
Well, you know who did it, don't you? Tyler Duncan.
He's a good player.
So, Tyler Duncan was 7 under. He had 5 birdies and an eagle. And Shank was 1 over. So I love this team for tomorrow because if Shank plays what he could do, it's just like the whole thing with Hovland and Ventura. If Shank goes out there and plays what we know he can do, and Tyler just comes down to earth a little bit, they're going to be in this thing.
I agree. I agree with you.
So I was very impressed to see Duncan shoot that kind of score, and so that was amazing.
I agree with you. They are a shocking team. I did want to ask you to touch on something. Did you see where they're implementing this like player impact program on the tour now? So it's basically essentially
the money.
Yeah, essentially from what I've read, it's basically like a $40 million in a bucket, right? And it's going to be allocated to who they deem is growing the game and who has social media presence, is also playing well, things like that. Of course, the whole thing should just go to Tiger Woods, but it won't. But it's very interesting
for this year.
Yeah, it's just like they owe Tiger Woods all the money just for growing the game. I have a number here. So the total combined purses for a PGA Tour season when Tiger turned professional, which was 96, was $65.9 million total pool. The total combined FedEx Cup bonus payout is $70 million. So a bonus payout is more than an entire season was in 96. That shows kind of where the game's gone, and it's all Tiger.
It's absolutely insane.
But guys like Max Homa, these guys that are on social media that are building a brand, I'm interested to see how the whole thing works.
The guys you got to follow are Siwoo Kim. You got to follow Max. You got to follow. Oh gosh, there's a bunch of them, but Justin Rose is a joke.
I like Ben On. I follow Ben On.
I like Ben On too.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, the Asian guys are hilarious, and they're embracing social media and they're having fun with it. I'll never forget when Siwoo Kim during a tournament said, "Be nice to the guy that didn't rake the bunker," and we know he got fined for it, but that was hilarious.
Yep.
And so but as far as bringing people back to the game without Tiger this year, Spieth has been the guy. He's been the fusion that they need.
Well, and you can argue and you can certainly, you're more than welcome to. When Tiger's not in the game, it's not Phil that moves the needle, it's Jordan Spieth, and it has been that way. And I think it'll continue to be that way. I think he is the most compelling player in all of golf outside of Tiger.
I mean, you got other guys that are compelling, but not for the exact same reasons. I mean, people love to watch the big boy, the Bryson.
Oh, sure.
DeChambeau.
He's a relatable golfer to people, I think. You hear him just talking to himself and losing his mind and talking to Michael, and it's just like you just feel like he's a relatable golfer. He's a hell of a human from all accounts that I've heard. And that's why he has moved the needle. I mean, when he's been in contention, ratings have been huge, and he's been in contention lately, and they're loving that.
Right. And so, but I don't know. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens with that pool of money. And for me, I think it needs to go to an assortment of charities. Of those golfers' choice.
Well, Tiger, let's be honest, Tiger doesn't need $10 million to give it to him, right?
It's in the couch cushions.
Yeah, and I think what you'll see with players like Tiger and Phil to an extent, and I don't know, I know some of this is based off, and I don't want to act like I know the ins and outs of this entire thing, because I don't. But it's interesting to see when you're guys that have made the game's made you, rich as you can ever want to be. You think that you would at some point kick that back to charity, because I think if you don't, you may just look like a dick, right? Like they'd be like, well, this guy, I mean, he's not giving anything.
Right. And you've been to a lot of these golf tournaments, these corporate tournaments where they have like these raffles, and you'll always have some jackass. He'll be the first one that says, "Oh, put mine back in there. It's for charity anyway." Yeah. And then everybody else feels like they have to pick their prize back, their money back. Fuck you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always like, you're like, okay, maybe I'll give half of it, but like I won this raffle, and I'm like kind of just an average Joe. Like I could use this money. Like right. Exactly.
Yeah. You're just tagging along, and you win $1,000, and they're booing you when you walk up and take the envelope.
Yeah. You're like, I'm never coming back to play this tournament again. I'm just taking that envelope and heading to the parking lot.
Oh, that's hilarious. I can see that. I can see that happening at the PGA final dinner or whatever, banquet or whatever hell they do. That'd be crazy. Just another one I really want to talk about that I'm really happy with, because this is the one that I kind of talked about as a $6,000 value play, and that was Stanley and Lee, and sure enough, they finished 9 under. They're tied for second, and now I don't know. I mean, if you want to look at it, Lee shot 2 under, and he didn't have any bogeys on his card, which was nice. But it's another situation where if he can pick his game up tomorrow, he might be able to carry a few holes, because Kyle Stanley was lights out. Kyle Stanley, 7 under, no bogeys on the card.
The thing about KH Lee is he is just like this. So you're right. Like he can fire off 9 birdies in a round. I've seen it before. So you're right. It's just what KH Lee do you get, and is the KH Lee on alternate shot come Sunday the one you want? That's what I mean.
I just wanted to make the cut because they were cheap. I've got them in my lineup that has like let me see here. I'm sitting there with a really nice lineup, sitting there at almost 250 points right now, and they're one of the reasons. And so I that's how you win these things. You got to get a 6K player in there. That's
you have to. And for me, another group that played well. I mean, they both made. Look, Charles Schwartzel makes 4 birdies on the front. Okay, so he cleans up everything on the front. Then you turn around and Louis makes 4, or 4 on the back. And Charles makes 1. That's ham and egg right there. That was the team I'm kind of a little surprised with, because Charles Schwartzel hasn't won since, I want to say 2015 when he won his. Yeah, so it's been a downward. But again, ham and egg in it is a beautiful thing in any team game, especially tomorrow.
Man, those Euros are tight.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, I agree, and that's why again, this is so hard to predict, because I feel like this is one of the golf tournaments where it's almost damn near impossible to predict after Thursday because we haven't even seen the real format yet. You know what I mean? You're going to get, of course, another, a better ball or whatnot come Saturday. But tomorrow is going to be the round where guys can easily shoot multiple over par tomorrow. Like tomorrow's like a real round. Or today was just like, let's throw some birdies on the scoreboard, not shoot ourselves out of this thing.
Yeah, and they both could go for it. That's to the point because they, the odds of both of them sucking.
Look, we just got somebody. We got a pairing tied for the lead with Vicky Hovland and Chris Ventura, which is Bryce Garnett and Scott Stallings.
Oh, another one of my 6K plays.
Yeah, there you go. Not sure why that you would play them because that seems like crazy out of nowhere. But hey, sometimes it works, man.
Hey, man,
good for you.
It's what I do, man. I wake up, I pick 6K winners.
Yeah, wake up and think Bryce Garnett and Scott Stallings is the team. No, that's a good one there, man.
I had 4 6K plays. I had Vegas, Stanley, Garnett, and List. And I got to see a List isn't. I don't think they're doing too good. But that Garnett, it's just something in my model. It showed up, and when I'm looking for 6K guys, I'm looking for 6K guys, and the guys that show up are the ones I play. And between my model and of course Guru's model, which is so good. And it's really showing this week. I just went for it, and they're in my lineups. Hopefully, they can hold. Last week, we don't have to publish it, but you saw my private rant.
Yeah.
On Friday and Saturday.
He said we don't have to publish it.
I'm not proud of that one. I'm not proud of that one. That was ugly.
It happens, man. But yeah, again, one of the, I want to say surprises. I mean, again, Lantow Griffin and Joel Damon kind of surprised me a little bit. I like that group. I think you like that group too on Tuesday.
I did, and they let me down a little bit here.
Yeah, no, and I agree because I think I'm not sure if I picked them, but I like that pairing. Both guys are clearly playing well. Joel Damon just won a few weeks back. But again,
Griffin didn't play well. He shot even par, and that's not going to get it done out here. Now they're not done yet, are they?
No, they got 3 to play.
Yeah, hopefully they get another 2 birdies or so.
This group's only through 13. Where are they playing?
They still got a chance to get up there a little bit. I'm really disappointed in Matt Wolf and Morikawa. Yep. They still got a few holes to play too. No, they're done. No, they're done.
Yeah, they are done. They're in at 2 under. And like you said, it's tough because we talked about you think, this is a good week to get your game back. Matthew Wolf kind of needs that. We did see some signs of him at WGC match play there in Austin, where he looked decent the first 2 rounds. I think he have with Spieth in the second round rather. But his game just hasn't been all the way there. And if Morikawa is not making putts, which he hasn't really been, we know the ball striking's there. I worry about them too tomorrow because Matthew Wolf hits the ball in some places that are interesting. They call them unknown, you would say on Shot Tracer.
Unknown?
Unknown area. So we'll see what happens. But again, it's very disappointing for them to be basically tied for 67th with a bunch of other people. But I'm with you. I mean, outside of that, again, it's Henrik Stenson, the Rosie, they're 5. Max Homa and Taylor Gooch disappointed me a little bit, and they still have two holes left. They're at 5 under, and I know that's not too bad, but I really like that group. I think that was one of my favorite groups going in. But again, they've had to take a bogey on the card, and that's not good in this format. So,
I'm just thinking JJ Spawn for lifting up my boy Matt Jones a little bit because Spawn has 4 under, and Jones is in there at 1 under. So I like them for tomorrow. They're 6 under, and they still got golf to play, and so I'm pretty stoked about that one too. What about Kelly Streelman? They're done? No, they're through 16, and they're 6 under. That was a play you guys had.
Rom Palmer 600, Kokrak Perez, which was a group that we all pretty much liked. They're 600. Yeah, Fratelli Streelman 600. Again, at this point, it's like, who the hell knows, right? Like everything is kind of like squished together. Tomorrow will give a little bit more insight of what we're looking forward to the weekend. But it's fun on the weekend. The fact that they do the two formats over the weekend, because you see teams that play well tomorrow and then play well Saturday, they just run away from people occasionally, because if you can play well on the alternate shot, the way you win is Friday, Sunday in this golf tournament. You just got to stay around the pack on Thursday and Saturday.
Okay, so let's get busy with some stuff. All right, I want to go right to the DraftKings Showdown for tomorrow. And last week we kind of took another one on the chin.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So we got to get healthy this week. We got to put out a winner. All right, I'm not talking about a cash. I'm talking about a winner. All right, and you know how the rules work for this weekend. And tomorrow's, what is it? Alternate shot.
Yep.
All right, so let's go. Let's do this thing. All right. I like to kind of use that theory. If they don't play as good on one day, you think they're going to pick it up because they're that good. I am going to tell you right now, I'm looking down the list: Rahm, Palmer, Schauffele, Cantley, Morikawa, Wolf, Smith, Leishman, Watson, Scheffler, Finau. I'm still going. Champ, Homa, Gooch, Horschel. You'll know where I'm going in a minute. Gooch, Horschel, Burns, and then we finally get to Hovland, just over 9,000 at 9,200. The way he played today, and as good as we know he is he an instant smash at $9,200?
It's hard not to. I mean, and there's a lot of groups I'm looking at, and I mean, I think that is the glaring one. You would think that he would have to play better tomorrow. Yeah, I'd be all in for 9,200 with that.
Okay, all right. So that's my first play. You got yours pulled up?
Yep.
What do you think? I mean, we're obviously now sitting there at 81.60. I like to go down a little bit, and then we can go back up. But
I 100%. Yeah, we got to go value time down here. All right.
I see somebody in there I like that down there in that low 7 range. I might go a little farther down.
I was looking further down, just to trying to find something in the 6 that might have a good day tomorrow. It's kind of slim pickings out there, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you what. I know you don't. No, I know you don't like him.
Who you gonna bring up?
I was going to bring back up the Adam Schenk. He's a really good player. And
I picked Schenk. Remember? Yeah,
I know. But what I'm saying is he's $6,900.
Yeah, I'm good.
And he didn't have a good round today. He's going to want to pick it up tomorrow. And of course, you're getting the team points anyway. So him and Tyler Duncan. So they're sitting there. Let's go with that.
Let's get Adam Schenk a damn picture. Okay, DraftKings.
I know.
Show some respect.
We need some. It's all about the respect.
I mean, these guys are PGA Tour players. They should get it. They should get a picture. That's what I think.
They got more money than God right now at DraftKings. Get somebody working on that.
They're taking everybody's money. Let's get Adam Schenk a picture.
Get some damn intern. Your job is to make sure that all these players have a freaking picture. How hard is that?
There's not that many of them.
I know.
All right, so we're at 8,400 now.
So we're at 8,475 a player. I'll tell you another one I like that didn't play great today that I think fits very well in this course, a pair, and that's Neesmith and Seifert. And they're sitting there at 7,500. Just a thought. We can come back to that.
Okay. Yeah, let's bookmark that one.
All right. What are you thinking? I love Tringali. He's six under.
This is tough. I don't hate Neesmith and Chase Seifert at 7,500.
I don't either. I kind of like it. That's going to give us some money. So let me just say, if I take that, we're at 8,800 for 3 more players.
Yep. Now we can actually look at some interesting ones.
I mean, Chris Kirk and Todd. I mean, you got Hatton and Willett. Of course, every time we take Hatton, he sucks. Sam Burns and Horschel. I don't believe in them right now. I like what
Lou.
Louis and Charles Schwartz.
Yeah. What about Louis and Charlie Schwartzel here?
Louis is so good on the greens. I'm good there.
I like their alternate. I like them in alternate shot.
All right, so let's take them, and now we still got $8,800. We could take one higher guy and one lower guy. I mean, I tell you who I do like. I know you. No, I don't want to risk it.
You like Billy Horschel?
I was gonna go. I was gonna go back to Bradley and Steele.
What'd they do today?
The 9 under.
Oh, that's right. I mean, if I was a picking man, and I know you probably don't like this, but I like Tyrrell Hatton and Danny Willett in the alternate shot. I do. I don't know why.
I don't like them.
I know. All right.
Every time we take Hatton, he sucks. When we don't take him, he does good. But if you want him, you pick him, and we'll go again. We'll go. Hey, you know what? I tell you who can be good tomorrow. Grace and Varner. They were 4 under today.
Yeah,
they
I do like that.
Each other's games.
I like that way more than like Bubba. I mean, that and the Bubba and Scotty Scheffler's out of our price range now, but Max Homa and Gooch, they're kind of high now. Yeah, I actually would prefer them.
Or what about Wallace and McDowell at 7,700? And that will give us some really good money.
You know what? That was going to be one I suggested. I like again, GMAC, I believe, is a winner of this tournament. He keeps the ball in play, I think. And again, there's something about these Europeans, man. They just seem to be to playing well in these team events. I have nothing against taking them.
So here's what we do. We take Wallace and McDowell. That gives us Hovland, Louis, Wallace McDowell, Naismith, Seifert, Schenk, and Duncan. And now we still have money to buy Watson and Scheffler, which I really like. Finau and Champ. Homa and Gooch, which I kind of like that one.
I like that one. The reason, I'm worried about the Champ and Finau just keeping the ball. I don't know.
Because it's alternate ball. It's alternate shot tomorrow. Yeah, that's a little bit different.
And Bubba and Scotty Scheffler concern me a little bit with that. I feel way better about Taylor Gooch and Max Homa.
Let's do it. So that gives us Hooch and Homa. We still have $400. If we wanted to try to upgrade somewhere else, we can, but I don't think we need to.
I don't either.
There's a reason we took all these guys. Do you want to just run it?
Yeah, let's run it.
All right, we're going to run it with Hovland, Homa, Louis, Wallace, Neesmith, and Schenk, and let's see what the hell happens. Hey, man law, we're booking this thing. We're going to cash this thing.
It's going to be big. It's going to be good.
It's going to be huge.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I'm doing a real quick check here. Oh man, that lineup is now almost 260 points. I'm pretty pumped up about that one.
Beautiful.
Cool. Yeah. Ryan goes Burns and Horschel. I can't take Horschel.
I hate Horschel.
We'll go down on that shit without Horschel.
Although now, and people can make up for their previous things that they've done to us. Louis Oosthuizen is in our lineup tomorrow.
That's right. He didn't withdraw yet.
Yes. So he was a person that we definitely said we were not taking. We gave him like a month hiatus. Now he's back in the lineup.
All right, let's do a real quick 3-person snake, and then we also got to go with our winner. You pick the winning team for this week. Who you got?
I'm picking the winning team.
I'm going to give you the first pick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with my guys, Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith.
All right, and I'm going to go with Hovland in Ventura.
All right.
And so, and I was going to go with Smith if you took Hovland. I like those guys, and so that's kind of where I'll go. Now, let's go back to our 3-man snake, which we're even on the season now. And,
right.
And so it's getting really competitive. I'll take first pick since you took first pick on the overall.
Yep.
And I'll just go right to where I was. I'll go with Hovland Ventura.
Yep, I'll do the same with
Smith.
Cameron Smith. Yep.
Okay, and so I am not going to go with Garnett and Stallings for tomorrow, and I'm not going to go with. Oh my God, do I want to do this or not? Oh, this is tomorrow's round only, and so I can afford to get a little crazy here. For tomorrow's round, I am. You're going to laugh at me here. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going Shoffley and Cantley. I'm not. You're not going to laugh at that one.
Nope. I'm actually going to go way off of everything that I've said this entire time. I'm going to go with Cameron Champ and Tony Finau.
I almost did that, but you made me think I didn't want it because you said how crazy their drives could be.
Well, I know, but at the same time, it's like how crazy their drives could be. Like, I mean, those guys can both move at 3.50 out there.
Well, that frees me up to take my other boy Scheffler. And so I'll got Hovland, Shoffley, and Scheffler. You got Smith, Finau, and take your pick.
Yeah, I will go with
do it.
I'll go with Louis and Charles. Louis and Charles Schwartzel. That'll be my
This is going to be a fun one to watch tomorrow because I think that's going to be a close matchup between those.
I wanted to take Willett and Tyrrell Hatton, but I don't know why I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's do this. And of course, Ryan's going Burns and Billy Ho, and we'll put you in there, Ryan, for outright.
It's not a bad pick.
No, it's not. I mean,
it's a good pick.
They can light it up, and so
I just don't like Billy Horschel, so I'm not going to pick him.
Well, hey, let's give him a golf tip. What's today's tip going to be all about?
Yeah, we're doing bunkers today. Most people terrified of bunkers. As you can see on tour, when you watch these guys, they would actually more than likely prefer to be in the bunker because they can kind of manipulate the spin and stop the ball. So we're just going to do a little bunker tip.
All right. We're going to play it right now.
Perfect.
Hey, this week we're going to touch on playing from the sand, bunker game, bunker technique, things like that. First things first, when we talk about what's the most important thing is understanding what the golf club is supposed to do in the bunker. Most players line up with just a square club face. The reason that we do not want to do this is this leading edge. What it tends to do is dig in the sand. Occasionally you'll hit a good shot. It's going to be super inconsistent when we're playing a square club face. So what I want us to do, we're going to lay that club face open, pointing towards the sky. Okay, and now let's talk about how important the setup is and what's different in the setup for a bunker shot than it would be in a normal shot. You definitely want to have a wider base, dig into the sand. Ball position is relatively in the middle for a bunker shot here. The one thing I want you to notice with me is I'm lined up completely open. Okay, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to be wanting to swing across our body to where that club drops like this and use the bounce off the sand. Now, let's talk about bounce for 1 second here. The bounce of the club is what helps us consistently hit the ball in the sand and also get the ball airborne in the sand. So instead of digging in the sand with the lower edge, what happens with an open face and using the bounce of the golf club, that bounces off the sand, keeps that face open, and it doesn't dig, okay? So, again, we want a completely open stance, left foot back of the right foot, and what we're going to think about when we're hitting bunker shots here is just getting the club up and swinging across this foot plane. So it's going to be kind of a coming across motion from what you're used to. And again, the reason why this is important to do that move is because it squares up the club face in order for us to hit this shot. The one thing that you need to always make sure we do in the bunker is continue to accelerate that golf club. Lots of people get to here and they stop, or they just get afraid and they slow the swing down, they decelerate, hit it fat, blade it. So we always want to keep up that speed. And just to touch on what I'm talking about real quick, I'm going to pull up some golfer who's pretty good. and just show you a little bit of his technique and what I'm talking about here with this shot. So, as we see, you can see how Tigers has it completely opened. He's going to have his shoulders open. The face, you're going to see completely open. And what he's basically doing is trying to just pop, have that face open and just bounce right off the sand just like that. Keeps the speed through the zone, open stance, gets a good firm base in the bunker. And I mean, hell, he's one of the best to ever do it. So that's what I got this week, you guys. Everybody have a good weekend. All right.
That was awesome, man.
Perfect.
You had to bring Tiger into the mix.
Yeah. You know, if we're talking bunker technique, he's one of the best. But yeah, the bunker game again terrifies many people. Just work on the technique. It feels. I'll tell you the one thing that feels extremely weird is having the club face basically wide open because you think you're just going to blade it. But again, the swinging across your foot plane, swinging open, allows the club face to stay square and open at impact. It'll help consistency out of the bunker.
Yeah. You know, I'm one of those guys that I really get a little intimidated sometimes on. You know, a lot of it, of course, depends on my my lie and whether I got a fried egg or I'm really embedded or up on a slope in the sand. But when you actually hit one pure and you see the sand go flying and the ball coming out and it hits the sand, just kind of layers onto the green and the ball just trickles right up close to the hole. It's like, oh my God, you can't, it's almost like hitting a pure drive 300 yards.
And that's the one thing. I mean, everybody kind of gets afraid because everybody's left 6 in the bunker or scolded. You know, you want to hit it 30 feet and you hit it 45 yards, right? So everybody tends to kind of like decelerate and be but the one thing you'll see on tour is those guys are always keeping their speed up through the ball because that's what's causing the ball to get up in the air and spin.
And are you finishing? You're finishing high, of course.
Yep.
These tips are great. I hope everybody, if for any reason, you should just watch all of these shows on YouTube because every one of these tips is going to not fix, but it's going to help your golf game. I mean, you got a PGA teaching pro on staff here, and by the way, you get some action on the volunteer tip. Swing tip?
Yeah. So we've probably had a good 15 or 17 I've done so far. So It's been good. Yeah. So thank you for everybody for sending them out.
That's awesome. I really, I love that. And so, but anyway, well, hey man, little early tonight. I'm going to miss you next week.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on next week's show?
No, man. You guys have a good time. I'll try to send over some pics if I have time, and then we're kind of ramping up for the PGA here in 4 weeks, a month from today or this week, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm just going to remind you the Cam Smith when I got him at 100-1 for the PGA, he's down to 30 already.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, let's hope that cashes out for you, man.
I hear you. Well, hey, bro, we appreciate you. And to everybody else, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It helps us out, and we love you. Peace.
Did you get all that? If not, make sure you head over to hammercast.com, subscribe, and join the Hammer Nation. Until